Everybody have a chance to get an agenda? Okay. At this time, I will take any additions to the agenda from the council. Does anybody have anything to add to the agenda? From the council? Yes.
Just as a reminder, this meeting's being live streamed on YouTube.
Do we have two cameras yet? Okay, we're gonna have two cameras from now on.
Work session is getting ready.
I think we'll have to make a motion to do that, but is it not on the agenda?
No, it is.
Okay. Oh, it is. Okay.
That's what it was.
Yep, that's what it should be, yep. Anything else? Anything from the public to put on the agenda? Nothing? Okay. So, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as it stands.
A motion. A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, carried. Just to make a note, Ms. Shelley Bat is standing in as secretary tonight because Ms. Nguyen Pearl is on vacation. So she's dual rolling as secretary and treasurer. So Todd made that motion and Wayne second, all in favor, and we'll look at the minutes. Okay, minutes from previous meeting on 7th and July 16th. Now, it's not a work session, or we have 2 minutes. Oh, okay. Well, we have July 29th too. Yeah, we have 3. Oh, it's a special meeting on July 29th. That's right. Resolution for application grant. That was, that's so quick for the resolution. Okay.
Are those supposed to be like public knowledge when those are held? Because there was nothing ever posted.
Yes, yes, a special meeting was put in the paper always.
It was not in the paper and it was not on the website.
Absolutely, it was. It was put in the only in paper.
And here we're told all the time to read the Bradford paper.
Bradford wouldn't put it in. We just have to put it in the circulating newspaper.
Bradford refused to put it in before we could get it, before we needed it, so we had to go to the whole meeting.
Yep, and that is what we have to do. Whether, I do not know about the website, I don't check always, but
Wasn't on there.
the only thing that we have to do is put it in a newspaper. According to the Sunshine Act, and yes, the Olean Times Herald did put it in. We've had some issues with Bradford, whatever, they can't get things through when we need them, and sometimes we do need a special meeting, and this was to put a resolution through for the multimodal grant, which is a wonderful grant that's been put through to hopefully help repair roads, streetlights, and other things like catch basins on Main Street. It's a $2 million grant, so I want to thank Luann Pearl for doing that, our secretary, because it's a good grant. It's a tough grant to write. So, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from July 29th?
Motion to approve all 3.
All right, from Todd. And
Second.
thank you, Wayne. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carried.
We get the motion next month. This is all 2.
Okay, treasurer's report and financial condition. Here we are. Thank you for bringing that to our attention too, the multimodal grant. That is a really, really nice grant that we worked very hard on. Let's see. Anybody have any questions? Okay.
I know they're not accurate, I know I ask every time. The negatives
You
are
want
good.
positive, no. You want
Positive.
positives for income, negative.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm talking about the over budget
You want that to be positive
for the income.
Yes. and negative
For
for
the expense.
but expensive. When you went under, you went over.
Which means we're under where we want money and
Right. Some of it doesn't come in until a little bit later, sometimes.
Mm. What did we have for professional services? That was in July, 7,000.
I would probably be CW and the professional services around there.
That's where we're putting that. And it's
Yes.
coming, and it is in the 08s. That makes sense. Anything unusual to report? Something different, something new?
Things have been going okay with that. I'm trying to go back through and try to see if I can help make more sense of some of this financial stuff. I'm finding some mistakes that are just not getting wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm fixing them. So you'll see that some of these will change.
And the summer workers are done, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the dike expense, we didn't get that.
Yeah, there's no, I do not believe that we need expense for that this year.
Right, because we didn't have to bring in, what's the name? Early. Did we ever get the mowing finished on the sides lane? Yes, most of it, most of it, okay, good.
Yes.
All right, do you guys have any questions?
I believe, yes, but I think he's gonna want to,
On the pension, for what? Yes, we can. Yes, I talked about, yes. Yes, so, we had a lengthy conversation, so when we get to the pensions, yeah, we can talk about that, but he did say yes.
seems like all of the admin fees, all the fees, it should not cost the borough any money moving forward, unless there's a situation that we can just proceed.
And we can get it all reconciled. All right, so profit and loss, they all look good, the treasurer's report, financial condition. Unless you guys have a question, do you? And if you don't, I'll entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report as it stands.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye, carried. Okay, so the last thing is the bills to be paid. And the old bills. And if you wanna look at the transaction list by vendor, those are gonna be the bills that were paid. Would you please look at those first, and then if you don't have a problem with that, I'll entertain a motion to, ratify the bills paid.
Is it recorded for the webcam on Rand's file? Are all the cameras working now?
I'm not sure if that was, I'm pretty sure that was for the extension.
Oh,
Was it? Yes, okay, so,
there.
but
Yes.
last I knew Jeremy looked, were all the cameras working?
You didn't have time to get into it before the meeting.
All right. So that answers your question.
So the
All
one is still, it's not working.
Still on the fritz.
right, and, I guess I can call him and talk to him and see if he can fix that. I don't know how to fix it myself. But that one was for the extension.
So we can stream.
Correct. Yes. So you did it, the first part of the director reimbursement, because we're doing it in parts?
Yes, okay, that's been done, and I got the paperwork back saying that it was paid.
Good. Is that the first or,
The first installment,
okay,
yes, and then next year, we do it next year.
okay, good. Anybody else have any questions?
Make a motion for the bill.
Well, I need a motion to ratify, the transactions of the, treasurer.
So motion.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, carried. Okay, now I need a motion to pay the unpaid bills.
There was a bill for Howard's, I didn't get a chance to let you guys know, there's a note at the bottom of the bill.
Uh-huh,
It says per full service per hours. Unit came in completely clean, helped the service and saved you folks $100. Very nice shape. Wish we saw this more often.
that was nice.
Just
How
thought
come,
I'd-
how come it was on the transaction list by vendor?
It's on there. If you look at the transaction list,
Yeah.
it says bill.
Yeah.
But you don't see check until I actually pay
I
it.
see it, okay,
So I can't put them in until I get a check.
right, okay, got it,
Just when you look at the transaction, the best thing would be to look at the payment, bill payment check. That's what I actually paid for that month.
gotcha. Okay. Why is new enterprise stone and line asterisk?
At the bottom, I wrote that it's highway fund
Oh, okay,
eligible.
gotcha. Did you, it says Mechanic Street, so we were able to put that?
No, I think I wrote it down as Mechanic Street, but I really think that was the swell, wasn't it? On Mechanic Street.
Yeah.
And I should have put Mechanic Street. I should probably just put the swell on Mechanic
I
Street.
see,
or
it's not
something.
part of the
not part
project. I got it.
It's up there. I called to double check to make sure that was eligible.
Did you find out, we can do wages, correct?
You could do wages.
Yep. All right,
Okay, I got a dumb question about this one. Why is that? Where's the other roughly $500?
can that be highway fund?
I would have to do a part of my.
Oh, it's not.
Total,
Do you have in your head?
that number looks right. That's around 200.
That does not equal seven.
Right, might be about 200, so, 284 is low, but it's nowhere near that.
I will.
It's all I have to- So that's maintenance, the 741 getting it being a bit high, isn't it? For the low.
The full service. Probably $100 just for oil.
Yeah, according to this is 150 for the Okay.
Well, these little that up real quick, I think. They're kind of high.
Oh, okay, I see what I did wrong.
Oh, you
I-
thinking that was a
I
total?
thought that was
Yeah.
the total. Okay, okay, sorry.
Okay.
counting that as a total, not as a addition. Make a motion to pay the bills.
Okay, I have a motion, Todd to pay the bills,
Second.
second from Wayne, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, carried. Okay. Paying the bills. Onward. Sign some checks, and let's go into. Does anybody have any questions or answers at this point, or questions? Or comments? At this point? No? Okay.
I didn't complain about the tree, I asked, but it says in here I complained about it on King Street. A friend
Where-
asked me, because it was a work night session and at work, she asked me, can you please ask me about it? So I did.
Are
I
you
didn't
talking about
complain.
the
It's
minutes?
in here, yeah, it's in here.
On the minutes?
I
Okay,
didn't complain, I just asked. Now I'm complaining.
okay. Would you like us to change the minutes?
Yeah, because I
Okay,
didn't complain, I just simply asked a question.
Okay.
Change the work. Which date was that?
It was the last workshop
work
on
session.
the, or yeah, on
Can
the
you give us
7th,
the date, please?
the 7th.
August 7th. Okay, so I need a motion to change minutes from August 7th to, where are we looking at?
Bottom.
Bottom, please. Let's see. Laney Cuthbert complained about a tree on Main Street blocking the view. Okay, I need a motion to strike the word complaint to comment. How, comment?
Yeah, I just
Ask.
asked, because someone asked me to ask you
Okay,
guys, so that's
Ask.
what I did.
So strike the word complaint to change it to ask. I need that motion, please.
Motion.
Todd motions. At the very bottom, right before motion to Todd to adjourn. August 7th, minutes for
No wonder it came.
August 7th.
Very, yep, very first.
There you go. Right at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so strike the word complaint and please, addend it to ask. Yes, so Todd made that motion.
Yes.
Wayne second, all in favor? Aye, carried. Okay, so the minutes will be amended such. Okay, thank you. Anything else? Okay, onward. Old business. Is there something?
The grocery store,
No.
right in front of it.
Okay, old business. PSAB Public
I
Works
asked them, they
Management
said
Training.
they wanted sheets and letters
Does
from
anyone,
Howard,
is,
And they have.
okay, is somebody, PSAB Public Works Management Training? Do you,
I'll go do it.
okay, can you tell us what it is?
Basically, it's, tell me a little bit better on how to manage,
Okay, when is it?
I believe the 17th of next month.
17th of September.
Yep.
Okay, so 9/17/19. Do you
Just
know?
one day.
I do believe.
Yeah, take your Okay, great. Is it the fall leadership? Oh, it's the public works management class. Okay, great, thank you. Butler County, this is what we need to know. It's in Cranberry Township Public Works Building, 9 to 3:30. Oh, it's $135. That's what we need to know. Public Works Management class. It will review the duties and responsibilities of Public Works Director, learn, plan, organize, direct, coordinate, and evaluate the activities of Public Works, Engineering, and Maintenance Department and personnel. So, topics are managing and maintaining public grounds, traffic system overview and management, personnel management, implementing capital improvements, asset management, long-range infrastructure development plans, winter maintenance operations, CDL regulations, risk management, performance evaluation, safety programs, incident and risk management. 6 certified borough official credit hours. That's a good thing. Because CBO is, to have a CBO, certified borough official accreditation, is very good. You should be definitely working towards that. I believe it's 72 hours to get a CBO. Anyways, the deal is though, it is $35 from 9 to 3:30 in Cranberry.
That's pretty far.
That's what I was just saying. How
That's
far is,
about as- it's about 3 hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3.5 hours.
It's closer to where I'm from, Katina.
yeah.
I can be
it's-
there in about an hour.
So he has to be there at 9, so like he has to leave at 5 if he's not staying open. Yep, so you're talking 135 plus a hotel.
You can't make you sleep in the truck or in the parking lot.
It's just pretty much 20 minutes from my.
Plus mileage. So we're talking,
Stay with her, huh?
it's up to you guys, you have to definitely have a motion. The 17th,
The motion was sent.
okay. We're gonna have to have Lou book and stuff. Okay, so we have a motion to send them. Wait a second, oh, good morning. Hello, Mark. Would you like updated on what's happening? Okay, so there is a public works management class. We're talking about sending Kevin. Is it just Kevin that we're gonna send?
That's what you guys said in the workshop session. You guys talked about it then on the 7th. It was brought up then and discussed.
Okay, so
It's not
September
mandatory.
17th, there's a motion on the floor. September 17th, 2019, in Cranberry, there's a work, PBS training for Kevin at 9 to 3:30, includes lunch and breaks. It's 135 per PSAB member, which we are. And he would have to have a hotel because it starts at 9 a.m. It's about 3. Okay, so Todd motion, DI, Wayne
He said
second.
he was gonna stay with his sister.
Okay, we can, okay, we can work out the details and then if you need a hotel, so forth, that would be included. So we have a motion from Todd and a second from Wayne. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carry.
That's for public works.
Correct, and it's just,
Yeah.
okay. And you got all that? Yes. So Kevin, should your sister or relative fall through, you do have accommodations. But if you don't need them, even better.
Okay.
Okay,
17th to Tuesdays.
okay. Okay, pension. We need to pass a resolution before we can do anything else. And I'm not signing checks before that. Or resolution. Oh. Whereas the Borough of Eldred, the employer, on January 1st, 1999, established a retirement plan for certain of its employees, known as the Borough of Eldred Employees Pension Plan, the prior plan. Whereas the employer now desires to adopt the restated master plan and trust currently administered by the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs Master Retirement Trust, the PSAB Master Retirement Trust, effective as of January 1st, 2019. Whereas in accordance with such purpose, the employer hereby adopts the PSAB Master Retirement Trust and accompanying joinder agreement, which documents together shall constitute the retirement plan known as the Borough of Eldred Employees Pension Plan, the plan. Whereas said plan shall be deemed to be a continuation of and a successor to the prior plan. Now, therefore, be it resolved that effective as of January 1st, 2019, the accompanying joinder agreement and the terms of the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs Master Retirement Trust are hereby adopted by the employer to be known as the Borough of Eldred Employees Pension Plan. Further resolved, that said plan shall be deemed to be a successor to and a continuation of the prior plan. So, we'll have this signed and dated and sealed. Okay? So that's the resolution. We need a motion to accept. Okay, motion from Mark, I need a second. From Wayne, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, great. Okay, resolution to pass the pension plan. So what we do now is wait for the joinder, unless you got, Linda didn't get you the joinder
Not
already.
yet, they're working on it.
Okay,
She
I was
said
gonna say,
that thinks it's gonna be within a week.
yeah,
But-
we're waiting for the joinder from Linda Costa. There's gonna be a few changes in that, and then we'll have to go ahead and pass the joinder agreement. And then also what we wanna do with forfeitures.
This is an Act 205 authorization form. Is that something that has to wait?
We should probably wait on this until we get the joinder agreement, because it's the defined contribution pension plan. Yeah, so until the joinder's in place,
You don't know.
yeah,
We also got an email from him right before I left.
sorry, did I keep you up?
And there was a mistake in prior years, and he would like me to get that handled, and is it okay for him to go ahead and do that?
Yeah,
Also to pay for the finding, audit finding from 2016, can you pay for that?
yeah,
Okay, and then I'll get him to reimburse the borough for the money that is due from the Mockenhoff administration, and also, before the forfeiture happened, I did send money from the borough, from the employer for their portion before the forfeiture, so that he's gonna reimburse that as well.
Doug and I talked at length, yeah, and, yeah. So I'm apprised of the situation, and yes, so go ahead and, go ahead and take care of all that. And when the next audit comes up, everything, the Ts will be crossed, the Is dotted, and we will know that everything will be handled correctly.
Yes, going forward.
Yes, absolutely. So we thank you for double checking and keep in touch with Doug because he knows what he's doing.
He said yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes, yes. So thank you on that. As soon as we get that joinder agreement in, we can all make our decisions on, what we're gonna do with the forfeiture and pay back any state aid that we owe, plus the mock fees or any fees that we owe for overpayment to ourselves, basically.
He did say that joiner is most likely coming through the mail, because it's gonna be lengthy. You want to write copies for everybody, and stick it in your box, or just leave it here and let
I
you know
don't-
it's in.
I don't know, because we already have like copies,
It's
and
just gonna be formalized.
yeah, and we already know the two different things that are gonna happen. So I think we've talked about them enough that we all are apprised. So, yeah, no, don't waste paper. Okay. So, how about Liquid Fuels County Aid? You want to talk to us about that?
That is the one last month you guys agreed on where you wanted to spend that money.
Yeah, we
Filled out
wanted
the
to do it
form.
mechanic, right?
And it's not going to be able to be used for that because you're opening it up for the sewer, so the sewer and the water have to pay for that.
And
So,
it's because it's highway, right?
yes. The highway
They're not
code.
even gonna let us use it on blacktop.
You can use it on, no, not for Mechanic Street, but for cold patch, for wages, for
Yeah,
catch
wait,
base, as long as everything meets their requirements. But I do have,
wages won't eat it up though.
the wages will, yes, I have,
That's what I was gonna say. Wages should eat it up.
I did this form like earlier on, there's $3,400 of wages that can be used for this. That's already been done, and it's for, plowing the streets
Mhm.
earlier this year. And I've got it all figured out the way they would do it. and I already talked to him. And plus, Kevin has given me another sheet that could probably be used, but that's 3,400 will cover it.
That's what I was gonna say, wages should ease out.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would need you to sign that and I would have to write it out. And I would-
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, that's just silly that we don't send it there at least, because wages
It's
alone,
difficult because it's only a couple of thousand and it's in a different
yeah.
spot.
Do we have to have a motion for that though? That's-
Yes, I would believe so,
I
because I think you motioned the last time.
Yeah, I
would
do
it that
too,
way,
so
yes.
let's
Can't
do
hurt.
that. Okay, so do you understand what we're doing here? Guy, we motion to spend our state and county liquid fuel on Canyon Street. Right, but the thing is, because we're opening the road and we're using it for sewer, they're like, no, that's just for highway. But we can use our state and county liquid fuel for anything to do with the highway, and our guys work on the highway all the time, so we can use it for wages. So, but what
Just
we
shuffling money.
it's
Right.
shuffling, absolutely. But we do have to have a motion to use that money to put toward wages. So, that's what we need to do. Our last motion to use towards Mechanic Street would have been fine, except they said, no, can't do it because you're not using it towards sewer.
So we had to strike that motion.
Yeah,
Now we
well,
have
the
to-
motion just became moot. We're like, oh, that stinks. So we need a new motion to use our state and county. Are we doing both?
That's
6,000, so.
Is that
It was
what we,
both before, right?
3,400
right,
total for the two guys for plowing the streets this year.
Yeah, but I'm saying the
County.
total amount of county.
is it county and liquid that we had earmarked
It was
for
like
mechanic?
$6,000.
I believe it was just county. I don't think
Because
that
county is not that much. It's like,
it's,
because how much are we talking about here?
you're talking,
I thought that.
I thought it was-
6,000.
Yeah, because that would include
That's
state.
what I thought.
3,195 is for county, that's what you have. You have to use the one that was encumbered last year first, and then you can use this year's. That's
Right,
how much is for county aid.
state.
The state,
State's like 64.
yeah, I'm unaware of anything that was, I think the only thing that you were gonna use for liquid fuels of any kind was for the blacktop, to cover, because nothing else could be used.
Yeah, but we can use it for wages. We're just,
Yes.
yeah, we're
okay.
just asking how much. How
As
much
much
is,
as you would.
yeah, but how much
60
is there?
Six, well, I would have to get back to you on that, Kevin, because I know that there's $67,000 in there, but I know some of it's marked for
67,000? 6,700, right?
for state, whichever the state.
Is that liquid fuels or is that the whole highway?
That's a whole highway. You can use that for, but there's some earmarked for equipment. So,
What, yes.
but he said you can use it still too. You can use some of that money so you can use
So we could make a motion now to use the county
Yeah.
3195,
it. Right,
and a
That's-
later date we can make a motion.
yes. I don't need anything for state. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused here, but I don't need anything for state to move forward. I just need for county because that form has to be filled out for
I'll
county.
make a motion that we use 3195 from the county and use for wages.
Right, okay. So we have a motion on the floor for using all the county. Is that including encumbered?
Yes.
Including the encumbered?
Or is that just in county?
The encumbered is $15.97. This year is $15.98.
All right, so again, 3194, and there's a motion, and Todd, did you get a second? Mike?
I will say.
Oh, okay, sorry. Second on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carry. So this year's state liquid fuels,
It's 28,000. Some odd.
and have we encumbered the year before?
The state liquid you do not encumber, it just goes into the account.
Okay, and so
That's
the
in-
highway fund.
That's where all the state go into, is the highway fund, and that's what you have in the bank
Okay, very good.
that I use.
Okay, very good. So. Are we using anything of this highway fund toward? We can't.
You can, the only thing you could do is the swell, which is the paperwork you have in front of you. that-
This is
No, the new enterprise bill that you have.
Oh, the
for you.
bill.
Yeah, that's the only thing that can be used for.
Oh, and I just signed. Okay. And is there another? I guess that's just it. All
I
right.
think there's one under there.
Is there one under
Yeah,
there?
I think they got, the top one looks like it's attached,
Is it just green? Is there
Yes.
just one?
yes.
Okay, then I read it. Thanks. That's what I was looking for. You guys have any questions about this? Okay. On to insurance.
Insurance is I'm getting quotes from several agents. And unfortunately, some of the agents want to use the same insurance and only one can use it, or they get blocked. So several of them would like to try to do this insurance where it's workman's comp combined with the fire department to help save cost.
I think this is a new thing. They're all trying.
It is a new thing because they split out after 9/11 because of the fear of all the
Mm-hmm.
disease, things that happen for those folks that have it over there. And now we have St. Mary's, which is your insurance, that would like to quote that workman's comp, and so does McGowan, which is a PSAB recommended agent. And right now, Charles Leach has got that
Yeah, you
ability
sent
to
us some,
quote.
you sent us
So,
some info. Yep.
Now, council needs to decide which one they would like to really get there. It's becoming a very time-consuming endeavor.
Oh, no, I don't know. Insurance. You guys decide on insurance.
McGowan can quote it with it or without it. That way you can see what you're saving.
With or without fire department?
Yes.
Yeah, what we advised to keep it separate.
One insurance company recommended that because all it takes is one really bad
One
fire.
accident, one
Yeah.
injury, it's enough.
It could, it takes 3 years to clear it off your rating. But
Well, the
This
pros
McCown-
on that was it was gonna be cheaper, right, if you kept it.
it's gonna be cheaper, but to be honest with you, I feel that you should hear the pros and cons from McGowan because she started to tell me a couple things, but then she stopped. And I don't know if there's more. So I would,
Was McGowan the one recommending keeping them separate?
no, McGowan is the one that she can do it with or without so that you can see the difference. Colbert Pearson said that he wouldn't recommend you put it because,
Of the liability.
yeah, all it takes is one
It
bad.
was McGowan that was recommended by PSA.
And Colbert Pearson too was recommended by PSAB, so you got
So
opposing.
we need to get a price for going either way.
Yes, and I'm still planning on trying to get that. It's just, they need, in order to give you the quote,
And when's this got in there?
I would do it sooner,
Oh, we missed
October.
it last year.
Yes, and they're trying to get it done so that they would have it for September. Because October is when, October, I think 15th is when, your insurance would be up for renewal. And the one PSAB, Culvert Pearson, recommended, the PSAB recommended, said that if you wanted to go through him, he sells the same insurance that you have right now, but you have to get it in within 30 days before that lapses, or you can't go through them, you have to wait another year.
So we have time for next week. We could
we would have to vote next meeting. now.
Right.
They can't move forward with their quotes until you decide who gets this. Or if you leave it as is, the, Charles Leach will get the quote, will be able to quote that Amtrust insurance that doesn't work this comp. Everybody else, they can move forward, but they just won't be able to have that in their quote. Does this make sense?
So you had to decide whether.
Leave it as it is. Or consider it.
No, what you have to decide is if you want a specific agent to get the quote.
And right now, we're using McAllen. No,
St. Mary's is your insurance company right now. And the two PSAB recommended is McGowan and Culvert Pearson. Culvert Pearson does not want to do this, but St. Mary's and McGowan would like to have this be part of their quote to you. Charles Leach is giving the quote as of right now.
I should stick with PCB. Endorsed. Agent. I don't know.
He doesn't know himself, because he asked me, he wanted to know what the criteria was. But he feels that they pay PSAB,
McGowan can use with me without, right?
yes.
Okay, I'll give that, get price. I mean, that's just me.
It's- I guess I'm not fully understanding what
What
they
we-
need.
Two agents
What do
can't
they
get the
need?
same quotes. They're only allowing one person to get it.
When you get a
So
quote,
we have to choose who we want to
Which
quote
is
from. We can't get a quote from multiple
Exactly.
places, which makes no sense to me.
Exactly.
you can get multiple quotes, you just will be missing this component on their quote. The workman's comp, where the borough and the fire department are together, you can
Oh.
only get, you can get quotes from everybody else is still gonna get quotes, they just will miss this component.
Okay, so they'll all give us quotes like the fire department's not with us.
Right.
And then McGowan is willing to give us a quote with them with us as well.
As long as you give them permission to
Just
do
making my
this.
head hurt.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I didn't know this was gonna be this.
So do you wanna just, handle this insurance for later, or,
We can if we have to vote on
We
it.
got,
We have to get
we
price.
got McGowan and Calvert. Both.
McGowan, St. Mary's, and Charles Leach. McGowan is PSCB recommended, St. Mary's is who you're using now. And Charles Leach was, the previous treasurer had come up and he couldn't quote because it was too late. Yeah.
Right.
Last year.
The two, the one that will quote with,
And without.
is McGowan.
Yes.
And right now with St. Mary's, we have
With us.
with us.
Without, because this is something new that they're trying to do.
And Leach wants to do it without.
Leach is already getting the quote
Without.
because he came here and had all the paperwork to do that without really explaining what he was doing. He was blocking everybody from getting able to quote that, so he already came in and handled that. So as of right now, he's gonna get the quote. So when you get a quote from Charles Leach, you're gonna get the quote with this insurance, where you have the firemen and the borough on the same workman's comp. He's the only one that's gonna get to do that. Unless
so
you
he-
change the person that you want to be able to quote. I mean, if you wanna
Okay,
see,
so I understand now.
Yeah.
He came in and he got the
jump on everyone.
golden chalice
And so he has all the authority to do it, and nobody else can step on his toes until we take the authority away from him and
Right.
give it to somebody else.
Right.
Gotcha now.
No, makes sense. So what do we have to do? We have to make a motion to give McGowan the authority to give us a quote with? Or what do we need to do?
You need to, I don't even think you need a motion because it's not set in stone. You're not saying you're going with them. You're just saying, okay, we're gonna sign this paperwork, giving them the ability to block Charles Leach now, and we're gonna give you a vote. It's messy. I don't know.
So if they turn around, they block Leach, then Leach can't give us
Right,
the quote with.
right,
So we can only get one quote with, and it's gonna be for one or the other.
right. And this McGowan seemed to think that she can reduce the premium quite a bit.
All insurance agents say that.
I'm aware. I can't help you. I don't,
I'm
this
the
is,
best one, go with me.
she seemed to
I
be the
have
most,
no idea.
she seemed to be the most straightforward, gave a lot of detail. They work strictly with municipalities and school districts.
Well, we've always been without up till now, right?
Right,
And so Leach will still give us a quote without, even if we fill this out, correct?
correct. And,
And St. Mary's will give us a quote without, even if we fill this out.
correct. And then,
But McGowan will give us one of each way.
right. And then if you choose Culvert Pearson, wrong example, because he doesn't want to do this. If you do it with McGowan and St. Mary's is the one you choose, you can have them, turn it over to St. Mary's, so you're not gonna be out of it. This is according to Scott from St. Mary's. That you
So
can still do
what
it.
we fill out here, if we decide, McGowan isn't for us,
Right.
that transfers to whoever we decide. to.
That's what Scott from St. Mary's said, yes. It'd be
Call this for a quote to see which insurance you will have.
kind of very lengthy. Here's some brochures if it helps you.
Now, since Leach right now has this authority, but they won't give us a quote both ways. They'll only
Right.
do with
Right.
or without, depending on.
How you can see this. I know, I'm sorry.
And I'll be honest, I don't understand it well enough to make a decision.
Well, you've talked all through.
Yes, all four.
And you seem to
I do. And the reason why I do is because she is quoting Trident Insurance. And the other PSAB recommended agent was going to do it too. But she blocked him from doing that. So I feel like that's a better insurance possibly. I'm not sure. I mean, you're not gonna know until you get them, but I feel like McGowan,
I'll trust your judgment. Choose the best one.
That's what I was getting to.
I feel like at the very least, when she comes to present her quote to you guys, I feel like she's gonna give you all the information you're gonna need to be able to decide which way you wanna go and why you wanna go.
They gotta take a motion.
Yes, it's gonna take a motion, absolutely, 100%, Yeah. absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Because granting them full over what St. Mary's had. So if this is the one that they do.
Which is Scott.
Right,
Scott.
right.
Scott didn't seem to be too excited about it.
He wanted to, he wants to quote it, he's got his here as well. He wants to do it as well.
But he's just gonna quote us without, correct?
He will, if you give him this, if you sign this paper, he'll do it with them. You could probably ask him if he can do it.
I'd kind of like to know all the benefits of doing with versus the cons.
And I think it more that you need to listen to one of them, they'll explain it. explain it to you. I can have whoever you choose to kind of block it out so that you can maybe piecemeal it into whatever quote that they have. See if there's some way they could say, well, we'll see what that turns out to be. With X number of dollars, we put it in with whatever they have and see if it would work. I mean, you might not even want to do it this way because of some of the cons that you already are aware of.
And you talked all three, and you think McGowan's the best one. So,
With being a PSAB recommended insurance company and both of them tried to do the Trident is the reason why I feel that way. I don't. And out of the two PSAB recommended ones, she asked all the questions. She tried to find out what's going on in this borough and what you have and what you don't have, whereas the other guy just came in and said, I'll just put what you have already.
I'll make the motion that we get the quote with and without from them, and without from the other two.
I have a motion on the floor from Todd. Okay, do I have
I'll second
with Mark second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, carried. It's all right.
One word on there, I thought it'd just be a quick, we're done with that.
Hey,
It's all right. As long as you got that all written down, you need to have that written down, that motion,
Motion,
I mean,
however Todd stated it, and
some of the
Mark second.
issues.
is that webcam still going?
Well, it is.
Okay,
McGowan with and without, and the other two without.
there's 4.
Yeah,
The other three
Just-
without.
yeah, so you need to make sure that motion was
Worded it.
worded correctly, and, yep. Does anybody have any questions or answers, or comments or concerns at this point?
So what insurance did you decide to go with?
That only lasted 20 minutes.
That was all to get a quote.
How about it? Holy cow, I fell asleep twice.
Okay, free to go to streets and equipment, public works update, Kevin, you're on.
Basically, we're doing some hot patching. Starting Mechanic Street hopefully next week. Repairing catch basins and getting them cleaned out, so hopefully we won't get so much flooding in the streets. That's where we're at.
Okay.
And I also wanted to ask council about possibly getting another 6 ton of hot patch for King Street.
I forget how much was that.
It was on
I'm
the,
gonna say
I
six.
asked for
it's on the
9 ton.
bills, it's on the,
Yes, 3,
630, no, I'm looking at.
633.
Was it?
Well, that's the stone.
The new,
$75 a ton.
2 tons be 150. So
Where'd you get it from, hon?
All Bakers.
Okay.
6 tons be 450, right?
It must not be on
Yeah,
there.
we are, what we approved 500 last time. It was like 480 something, we said 4, make it 500.
Right, and that, it was 500 enough? Dollars, it was over a bit?
For which street or
It's not, it's Mark just said we approved you for 500 last time
For the hot patch.
for the hot
Was that enough
patch.
of the load that you got?
I think we were over on that.
That's what I was
It
wondering.
was 6 or
455 acres. So that's fixed, sorry.
I
But
think
it
that
sounds,
was for up on,
but it sounds like you needed a little bit
I
more,
need more for,
needed a little bit more money because it went over. The 500, you're saying it was like 680 or. So it sounds to me like 500 didn't quite cover it. So we're gonna have,
that was 9 tons.
that was 9 ton.
How many tons you get?
Another 6 ton.
Tons what?
$75 a ton. so that's-
450. I don't know if there's a tax or
delivery fee, stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, why don't we just approve him for getting 6 ton? It's easiest.
That's what. That'll take care of the rest.
Probably not, but.
It's a start.
Closer.
It's a start.
There's a lot of holes.
Keep working, right? We got Park Avenue taken care of. We got part of Bennett Street taken care of on 6 ton.
We'll just start at the top, and as it comes out, we'll just keep putting in the holes.
Yeah.
You want to give the bottom line.
The streets.
We need a motion on that.
Oh, you can always help.
I'll make the motion for 6 ton.
Okay, so Wayne made motion, Todd second, and all in favor? Aye. Carried. Okay, so 6 ton for now, and let's see where that goes, or how far that goes. And is there anything else?
That should be it.
Now we're gonna go to our sewage and our CWM operator report, and this is Mr. Aaron Serene.
How's it going? Nice to meet everybody.
Nice to meet you. So what can you tell us?
Well, I mean, we have this summary here, so you got that page when you get to the search. I made this list, it's an itemized list of, like, from what needs done most to fucking rate. But
Yeah.
it should be looked at eventually.
Why don't you tell us about the highlighted stuff, since that probably is the one that has the most money attached to it?
Okay, you're highlighted. Okay. 45. What is quote 45?
One of the waste valves will not open even after soaking it. WD-40.
Okay. So both your waste line valves, so we can waste sludge.
Mhm.
One's completely seized, I can't get it moved. The other one we moved with a 4-foot pipe wrench.
Okay.
And it takes quite a bit of effort to move it with that. So this is a proposed price to replace those valves, along with a couple other items. Now, something I gotta clarify, which it's not clear to me. Me as the operator, I want both of them. I would like both replaced because the one won't move and the one is very hard to move. I might have to revisit this. I didn't create this quote. My maintenance guy and my supervisor did. I just told them these need done. And it's the wording in the quote says install new waste valve, not valves.
Where are you looking?
Quote 45 in the description.
Okay.
So
Oh.
I have that in my notes. Sorry about that.
There might be one valve.
It might be. Like I said, I didn't create.
Right.
I didn't come up with all the prices, but within that, there's an airline valve on your skimmer that's missing. They just, for some reason, it's on one side, but it's not on the other. So when the plant does flood, it keeps running. I don't really want it to run. It's maybe a 1/2-inch valve. So while he's there, he's in that vicinity, tearing stuff apart, you might as well just replace that valve. It's like probably a $15 brass ball valve. Then the other thing is, at one point you guys had some repairs done to the discharge of the waste line from that valve into the waste tank. They carried those the whole way to the bottom. They should be cut off at the, like, closer to the surface, so when the valves are repaired and we can actually utilize them, you can see what's coming out of them, at what rate, characterize it by just basically looking at it. Does it look thick or thin? So,
Sorry.
but I'm questioning the accuracy of this quote based off of whether if this reflects one valve or two valves. I'm going to have to check on that.
Okay.
Well, if that was one valve, we put another $1,000.
Yeah. So,
You know, not necessarily because that $1,000 is the valve fittings, the skin
yeah,
valve.
it'd be a little less. But the main, I mean, this valve is this big. I'm not talking about like a valve under your sink. It probably weighs 200 pounds itself. You know, it's a big valve.
I was down there yesterday and talked to the operator that was down there. He showed me all this stuff. And, like Aaron said, both of them valves are bad. And that small valve is missing the top two and stuff. It just turned around. But, we need to pay attention to what he's saying about some of the small things and get it taken care of. You know, we're not talking about the $21,000 grinder.
That's what I was just looking at,
Getting
main
some
pump
of the
grinder.
small stuff done, so.
And what's the 42,000, 43,000?
That's
Main-
new grinder.
That's a new-
Oh,
That's a brand new.
so the other one's if we repair it, that's it, rebuild.
Same warranty,
Same warranties.
same warranty, 1 year.
Is that right?
I'd probably go with just the rebuilt one. Myself, if it's you get the same warranty. I mean, that's your decision. But
That's what Ryan,
Now, if you
that's
go-
what
if
Ryan told me.
if you go
Who's
to
that from though?
Ryan,
No, but who's the manufacturer?
I know he manufactures
And they're gonna give you the same warranty on a new one that's a
the
rebuilt?
same one.
That doesn't make
I
sense.
never worked on there for that meeting.
Really?
yeah, well, I mean, a lot of this wastewater stuff, you don't get very good warranties on any of it. Like, there's all kinds of parts that, like, I'd order them, install it, 3 months later, it breaks. It was a 3-month warranty. You know, and it's like 3 months. You're kidding me. You know,
We found,
Yeah, it was
So-
kind of no brainer.
yeah, some of these really expensive things. They're like, warranty? No.
yeah. So, I mean, as far as the grinder goes, I mean, they're not cheap. They just, I mean, the new one, probably 90% of the cost of that or more of this whole quote, yeah, way more. Just a day's worth of work, and the part itself is almost 43,000. So
Yeah,
it's all in this part. All in good way.
so the part is 43,000. The rebuild is 21. I don't,
The disadvantage of not having that is a lot of rags are gonna not get ground up,
I know.
and it could clog your pumps.
Um,
Those pumps, I mean, being in that building is kind of tight. They're not the easiest thing to tear apart. And it gets up into your plant and it starts filling up your plant with bigger size rags.
yeah.
So
We had a
Yeah,
baby
and
blanket
you-
go through once.
what's that?
A baby blanket.
Yeah. Oh, I found purses and underwear and shoes and all kinds of great money.
Ooh, money.
Yeah. Oh, I found like $150 on bleached it and put it in my bank. Well, who are you gonna give it to? Right. Anyhow. So there's a lot of stuff to talk
But you
about
want
here.
the grinder, is basically what you're saying.
Well, oh yeah, what I did want to say is, like when the DEP does an inspection, that grinder's on your permit, so it's a part of your equipment.
Mm,
So if it isn't there, they're gonna write you up for it.
Yeah.
Too. That's how that kind of works. Now, I mean, you're not gonna get fined or anything, but if they like come back again and it's not fixed, then they might start.
Now, this
like,
is the grinder at the plant, right?
the main pump station.
Okay, because we have a grinder at the Shields lift station, right?
We just replaced
Right, but we have two, right?
Yes.
What's causing the failure of these grinder pumps?
This one was broke when we took over, so they probably just wore out. I'm not sure. I think we came
I
up-
think they probably do. They go through.
They do wear out.
Yeah.
That smaller one has been about 20 years.
Yeah, well, some of
This
them
one down
will.
here only lasted 6.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it
it's
takes a
seven.
lot more flow. Or it does a little
Is it
more work.
electrical or a mechanical type failure? Do you have
I think it's more mechanical where the gearbox probably got basically wrecked They can rebuild the one you have, but they're probably putting on a new gearbox, probably putting all new bearings in.
Is your gearbox got like an oil well on it that we should be checking it from time to time, or is it not accessible?
Yes, that would be a maintenance activity on a grinder like that. So, but like I said, this is already,
Oh, yeah. no,
Yeah.
just-
the first week we were here, I think my maintenance guy came up and pulled it. So,
It takes a lot. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I would say without having like the book on that actual grinder, I would say you probably want to pull it out every couple years and check the oil once a year at maybe 2 years tops.
What kind of job is it?
You need a crane truck because it's down in it where the pipe enters the pump station. I'm just throwing a number out there, maybe 18 feet deep. Actually, I believe my maintenance guy had to enter the pump station in order to retrieve it. So I wasn't involved.
But once a new one's installed, that's something that you as the operators.
Yeah, I mean, that
take care of
may
that.
incur more cost because of confined space entry and a crane truck being used. We'd have to look at what that, what the like maintenance manual is for that grinder and see what it recommends as far as like oil and any kind of preventative
Service
maintenance.
intervals.
Yeah. So I don't really have that info on me. Yeah.
Okay, well, what else can you tell us?
So there's the pump station is that Shields, the first one heading into town from the south,
No.
which
Well, from the south, yes.
yes. There's a level, there's a small pump that operates your level sensor.
Yes.
You have a redundant system, so there's two of them. One of them's completely missing and isn't there. So if the one that's there breaks, there's no more signal up to the controls as to what the level is in that tank. Now I could steal. There's two in this pump station out here. I could steal one of them in a pinch and fix it, but then you're just kicking the can down the road, you know. So we should probably get that fixed. I think the quote for that was $753.19. It was missing. I noticed it the one day. Actually, the one that's in there is not bolted down anymore. What it does is it looks like a fish tank bubbler, but it's a little more robust to last longer, and it puts pressure down a tube into the water, and it helps read the pressure in that tank. So it's like a bubbler system. So based off the pressure, the controller does a calculation and it tells you how many feet are in there. And then you set where you want the pumps to come on and off by, I want this to shut off at 2 feet. I want it to kick on at 5 feet. I want my lag pump to come on at 7 feet. It controls the pumps basically. So it's pretty essential. There is a working one in there, but it should be redundant. It was built as redundant. So
Yeah. This one failed in the middle of the night and no one was around.
the lift station would potentially not pump anymore until it was fixed.
Will that siphon? I mean, worst case scenario, if that were to,
I don't know that. Probably not. It would probably just either fill up, and if there's an overflow, it would start going out the overflow. Or if there's no overflow, it's eventually probably going to come out the
you're gonna
top.
see it.
I mean, what you would do is you would just operate it in hand. So somebody would go down there, probably us, run it in hand till it was practically empty. But then, the pumps would still operate if you put them in hand. They're meant to operate in automatic mode, where they alternate between themselves. The level sensor tells them when to kick on and when to kick off. It's all automatic.
Are you, maybe I shouldn't ask this question this time, but I'm going anyway, that's the way I am. Are you training anybody in this town to do what you're doing?
From here?
Yeah.
No,
Okay, I didn't think so.
yeah,
You think you would, you think the town would, but,
yeah.
okay, I'm done.
Why aren't you?
We
Someone
have,
from here.
we have people we have hired from, I work for a company called CWM.
Mhm.
If you want a card,
Okay.
anybody can take
Awesome.
one. So we're contracted for operations. So I would have my employees come here and do the work.
Right.
So we come 7 days a week, every day. So,
I just know that this town is really not, doesn't have a lot of money. And we're paying a good dollar to get this done. You would think that they would look at having a training program, learning this stuff.
yeah, that would be
Right.
between,
If I was a lot younger, I'd be down there.
yeah, it would be between you and whoever,
Yeah, I
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
But you think they would be bringing it up?
I train people on wastewater and drinking water. I've trained all kinds of people.
Yeah, I thought you,
If
Probably, yeah.
they're nice enough and are respectful and listen, and
Yeah.
I'll teach them anything about wastewater and drinking water. I have no problem with that.
So there's nobody local in the area that works for your company.
We have a woman that we hired. She is about 20 to 30 minutes away from here.
Okay.
I forget the name of the town. Shingle House.
Okay.
Yeah. She's here 4 or 5 days a week. Jim Prusak, he's an operator from he lives a little north of Katanning. He comes here Mondays and Fridays. I'm occasionally up here. I'm up here today. I checked the lift stations while I was here. Because I think we're cleaning them out on Thursday. Is the day. I think you guys approved both pump stations. The Shields pump station, it has a lot of grease in it, like almost 100% greased over, very large chunks of grease, which really isn't good for a wastewater plant. But it's probably, I mean, you have restaurants, and I think they have restaurants, it's probably where it's coming from. But
There's a couple of restaurants.
yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know if they have grease traps or, because it'd be nice to catch them at the catch grease at the grease trap and remove it from that point before it gets into your system. Because it clogs your pipes. I mean, most of the pieces in there look like the shape of a pipe. So they connect to the pipe and then they slide out as like the shape of a pipe. Every once in a while, the grease, if it's bad enough, it can close off your whole pipe, and then you get a backup into town. You need to get a jetter. Jetters are generally like $250 an hour, give or take, to jet out the line and clear it back out.
And you guys have sent letters out to them asking them for grease traps and stuff. Have they responded? Apparently not if they're still finding grease in there, right?
Oh, we
We haven't cleaned it yet, so
Okay.
I guess what we'll do is we'll clean it and we will monitor how quickly it builds back up.
Okay.
It's not abnormal to get grease. It's just how much grease
It's an abundance, yeah.
are you getting, and
Right.
this maybe it fills back up in like a month. Well, I would say that's too much grease.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of grease is normal. It's wastewater.
Right.
So that's happening on Thursday. Both these pump stations. This one's not nearly as bad, but they'll suck out any grit that may have accumulated in it too. It doesn't have as much grease, but while they're up here, might as well clean it. Some other things eventually need clean. You have a grit chamber prior to the main pump station at the plant, and then the main pump station itself at some point. I could we could do a little looking into, like, I could sludge judge at that both those tanks and see how much stuff is settled in them to see if it's worth cleaning out or not. But as far as grease, most of your grease is up at this lift station, the Shields lift station. That's the main grease problem.
Was there anything else that we needed to definitely go over?
I mean, let me go down my list, maybe I'm taking up too much time. Pump number 2, hour meter out here, I noticed is not working. I'll get a price for that. So there's an hour meter, it tells you how many hours passes by, it tells you how long it ran. It's stopped running last month. So we probably want to get that replaced. It's fairly inexpensive compared to like some of the other quotes. I don't know if you remember when we that discharge pipe was leaking.
Yep.
I'm not saying we have to fix that right away, but that might be like a 1-year thing. Like it was a little bit of a leak. It wasn't like completely broken, but the discharge pipe from one of the pumps was spraying.
My concern on that was it's showing the output, gallon output,
And it's going back in.
and it's going back in. So
Yeah.
we
Well,
recalculated.
I don't think that shows a flow.
Okay.
It only shows an hour, so it's going to make your pump run a little bit longer. I would say it was probably only maybe 10% of your pump flow without actual measurements, just a visual. I've seen worse, put it that way. Spraying discharge pipes. We talked about the grinder, the grit chamber, which cleaning the grit chamber would actually help preserve the grinder, because once the grit chamber fills up, the grit's going to get washed through your grinder. We're talking like pebbles and stones and like sand, and that could prematurely wear your grinder out. Down at the plant, chemicals. I don't know who orders the chlorine. If you want to continue to do that, or do you want to just give me the number, and when we need chlorine, I'll arrange it.
We were talking about something lighter than handle.
15-gallon drums.
15-gallon drum.
Yeah, they have 2 handles. They're about this tall.
It's gonna run, yeah, it's gonna run like a couple $100 for the same amount of chlorine.
Okay.
Because of different months, which I don't think is a problem, especially with 2 guys compared to
Yeah,
the staff.
55-gallon drums are difficult.
Right, and I talked to the operator down there, he said that'd be great. He said they'd probably last, he said one of those drums last a month anyway.
Okay.
So we're looking at ordering 4 times a year maybe,
Yeah.
is all it is, so.
I would start with, we are about ready. I mean, we should order chlorine.
Yeah, one
It's-
working on
It's probably about, no, I think you were down on the last one.
Okay.
I would order 6 15-gallon drums for now. If you, I mean, you can, I can let you guys know when, or if you want me to start calling your vendor and arranging it myself, I'm fine with that. It's whatever you want to do. We have been using soda ash, which I don't think that you've previously used. Been giving the plant more air, so it operates more efficiently and removes more of the nutrients out of the water, so you have cleaner water. The end result of that is your pH actually starts to drop, especially when it's dry outside, because there's not a lot of alkalinity to adjust your sewage. When it rains, the rainwater adds alkalinity, so you don't have to boost with soda ash. So you may have seen that on your invoices, us delivering soda ash. I don't think we're using a whole lot. It might be like 2 to 5 bags a month. You could order your own pallet and store it down in that building if you want a price for the pallet, and then it would just always be there. It would probably last a year and a half or 2.
How about,
You may get a better price.
I was just
ordering-
gonna say, we could probably check.
Your
um,
chlorine, the company you get chlorine from most likely would have soda ash, and I would want the ones that are briquettes. So they look like little, like you're gonna go grilling.
Yeah, but we were just sort of saying maybe we could check on the price, of what you were saying for the 45-gallon drums. Because we just went through with our lab, looking for new labs, see if we could get a good price on. So we kind of, I mean, I didn't know Luann and Shelley usually handle that about getting good prices.
Do you know if there's places that sell the chlorine?
Not up around here. The places I'm familiar with are more like around Pittsburgh. There is that Barber's. You ever hear of Barber's Chemical? BARBERS. They're over towards Sharon. I don't know if they shoot over this far. They may though. You give them a call.
Do they have the soda?
Univar. Another
That's
vendor.
where we,
You use
Yeah.
Univar. Or I do know Barber's is traditionally has a slightly better price.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter.
I'm
to
sure
me.
the water authority has to get some.
Yeah, you can.
Pretty sure.
So-
Univar. Wait, Univar?
Same place we
I would try for that Barber's.
Yeah.
BARBERS. We talked about the waste valves. I'm gonna get clarification on that quote. That would also include the skimmer valve and then shortening the pipes. Something that I think may save you money if we install would be, what are they, 96 pin timers for your blowers. So I can downcycle them at night, see the motor's not running. Right now, the only way for me to run your plant is to stick them in hand, and it runs 24/7,
Right.
nonstop.
Right,
So I'd like to get you a cost on timers. I might be able to downcycle 4 to 6 hours. In the winter, even like summer, I might have to cut back, but on average, I might be able to downcycle 4 to 6 hours a day.
okay.
You could look back on your electric bill and see what it would be like with 20 to 25% less electricity used, because most of your electricity down there are those blowers.
Right,
I mean, they're decent sized blowers.
Yeah.
They use some electricity. So even if it's like $200 or $300 to put, you have timers, but there's no pins for them. I think they were just for like alternating the blowers.
okay, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to get a 96 pin. What it is every 96 pins. It's a 24-hour cycle. So each pin's 15 minutes.
Okay,
So I have a lot of control over when I can shut them off and turn them back on.
can you give us a quote?
Yes. we will.
Thank you.
You also have mixers, which I haven't looked into yet. They're not running. They spin when the blowers run, but I think it's just the air making them move. Because that's the other thing. Like you could downcycle, still be mixing.
Right,
But I'm just throwing that out there. I don't have much more information on that. We are, and I know this is probably going to open up a can of worms. We're nearly ready to get rid of some sludge. So I know there was concern on using your bag filters versus hauling.
we decided to go with liquid haul.
Okay. So we're nearly ready. Should I line that up as a go?
Yep.
Or I mean, you guys, if you want to, you could look if there's anybody else who can haul. If you didn't want to use CWM, we're fine with that. So
I think our concern was why we weren't using our waste baggers and like we had, because we had them, and then he came in and explained, we got the letter between the liquid haul and the sludge baggers. So. And also, the manufacturer, the whole deal. So talked it over and went with the liquid haul, if I remember.
okay, so I'll get that lined up here for the near future. A suggestion: you may be able to put that bag filter on Municipid.
Oh,
Someone
okay.
may buy it, and then there's also a new pump sitting down there in where the water system is for the sewage plant. There's
Yeah.
like a pressure tank in. I think there's a pump in there that was for your old main pump station. You may be able to put that on municipal bid and make, I don't know, you can look up what the pump costs and you might be able to
You
get
guys ever been
$1,000
on
off
municipal
it or
bid?
something by selling it.
It's actually, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
municipal is
there-
pretty decent.
if you go in that room and turn right, there's a pump sitting there. It's about yay high.
Mhm.
It's either new or rebuilt. I'm not sure.
Okay,
I just see it sitting there. It doesn't
Right.
go with anything that you have right now.
okay.
You have all wet well, dry well stuff. This is a submersible.
Oh,
So
okay,
you would have to look up the model number and take a picture of it. and post it for-
that's good to
and
know.
someone might buy it. They
Yeah,
might have that pump, and if you give them a deal, I mean, you might as well make something off it. You can't use it anymore.
Exactly.
So, all right. I think that's all the main stuff for now. I mean, there was other stuff on here, but we can revisit that after some of these other items get taken care of.
All right, well, thanks, you gave us quite an earful that we need to think about.
Yeah.
Get some of this stuff going too.
Yeah, we did, I noticed when we were going through, it said, that we did, do, task is not completed for the jet vac truck with the high pressure. Yeah, the disposal of grease waste,
There's number one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we fixed that blower was installed, and we're using it now.
okay,
I think quote 45 and 33 should be okay for tonight.
let's do that then.
Quote
He needed to clarify 45.
45. I'll clarify it.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not gonna.
Right,
I mean, if it's different, we'll send it off. Okay,
that's
so,
good.
yeah.
What about
Get some small,
38,
33.
quote 33? Oh, my,
Melissa pump up there, shooting station.
And then
That goes
the
out.
Lisa pump, which quote's that?
33.
So quote 45 and 33.
Well, 33, did we have a question with that? I didn't think we did.
That's what
That's the one with your
That's
level
that
sensor. For sure.
Oh, I'm just looking at this, nothing.
45 is the only question.
Just to clarify something, I went over with Shelley. Our sewer account is self-sustaining.
Yep.
It's got money coming in, it's got money going out,
Mhm.
where our general account doesn't. So we shouldn't be afraid to step out there and buy a $21,000 grinder and save a $100,000 pump. It's gonna regenerate itself in a couple of months. And hopefully, nothing else happens. That's what we've got money coming in for, is to replace these things, and hopefully they last. So you look at the account, and because there's 80,000 or 90,000 in there, if you're spending 20, it doesn't mean we're going broke on that. So keep it in mind for getting some of this stuff up. I've done my spiel. He and Mr. Southern.
I'm not done.
Oh, no.
Not this meeting.
Oh,
I'll take them more.
Mark, did you have something to say?
The blower that was replaced on there, do we have another one on hand, or are we getting the old one rebuilt so that there is one on?
I believe that the one that was removed is being evaluated for rebuild. So it was sounding pretty rough. It would sound good, and then like an hour later, there was something out of line with it. So yes, I believe it's getting evaluated for what needs repaired on it. So then I think what would happen is that there would be a quote to rebuild that blower. So then it would be your spare from one of these other two go, so, which is good to have. A lot of places don't have that. It's kind of nice to keep one in rotation.
So you guys make a motion.
So I can make that motion.
You are
I'd
free
like to make a
to.
motion to do the quote 45 and quote 33.
To clarify on the 45, if
Yeah.
it ends up that is only one valve,
Yeah, I have clarify and proceed.
does that nullify your motion or not?
No, because both valves gotta be replaced, and so we do at least one valve. The other one we can open with 4 foot, but we can revisit that if it was only for 1 month. But we need to get the one. The plant works on both sides. It's like having 2 plants. And the one side,
But it'd be a lot cheaper to get them both done at one time.
Yeah, because he would be
Yeah,
out there
They're already
already.
here.
Yeah,
right,
So I mean,
but I should be able to get back to us on it if it changes.
Yeah, at the
Well-
latest would be next week, because Joe, my maintenance guy who was working on this, is in the Outer Banks. I don't want to bother
I don't blame you.
him. So it would be early next week.
And like I said, you're looking at 2,100 here, even if the other valve costs another $800. I still say we need to do it. So my motion is to replace those 2 valves and cut off the 2
Sort of
fittings.
those, yeah.
What's that?
One's functioning, sort of.
One, I mean, you got to put a wrench on it this big to move it, and you got to grab it and like really pull and brace. I mean,
You don't wanna go swim.
yeah, I mean, it's. I don't know. You haven't been down there when we don't move that. We've been using this pump on a rope, and we lower it down. That's how we've been
God.
wasting.
These pumps are underneath concrete too.
Yeah.
I looked at it with, what's his name,
Jim,
yesterday,
yeah.
and might have to break out the concrete to get the valve. He thinks.
But my maintenance guy, he's pretty good. He thinks he can.
I don't want him to go swimming, but,
He thinks he can swing it out there. So
okay,
I trust him. He fixes a lot of stuff. That's his. He goes around and just fixes stuff.
Okay, so what's your motion and who made it?
44 and 33,
Okay, so your motion is
His motion is for 2 valves,
if needed.
on
replace both valves,
quote,
if the quote was
on quote what number?
45,
45,
and then quote number 33, which is the thing.
Lisa.
which is as it is written.
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I would-
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Carried. You just spent a lot of money.
Gives something.
Yes, it does. All right. Thank you very much for bringing us that hard news, but necessary. All right. Thank you. DEP. Anybody have anything on the DEP? Actually, the Levy inspection, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, who went on that? Did you go on that, Wayne?
no, we had meetings at night.
Did you go on the Levy?
I went on the first one.
With the Army Corps,
I went on with the
DEP?
DEP.
Kevin, did you go on with the Army Corps?
Yep.
What did they say?
They were pretty happy with what was being done, and we just found a couple things, so.
They always find a couple of things. All right.
What's being done?
Basically, they were just inspecting it and pointing out some areas that are gonna need some attention.
I mean, what do they see? I walk it all the time. I don't know what the hell
Okay,
it is.
basically what you're looking for is rodent holes, the brush on the sides, make sure that there's nothing big there. And seeing if we're maintaining it, trying to keep things cleaned up so that they can see the edges. If there's water coming up against it, is it washing the bottom of the levee out? Erosion areas.
Is that why you guys weed whacked it or whatever?
Yep.
You get it.
They look for the riprap, to make sure the riprap is being taken care of, and the head walls.
Make sure that the gate valves are functional. See if they need maintenance done on those. whether the pipes are clean, so that water can flow through them, make sure things aren't cracked.
And boils and seeps, which we don't usually have. things like that.
So we're still waiting on being certified?
Oh, yes, this has nothing to do with that.
Holy Christ.
Yeah, this, the Army Corps and the DEP inspect the dike. They used to do it, alternating each year. This year they both did. I don't know if that's something.
Because it
Army Corps
changed.
missed it last year. That's why we're here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it sort of has something to do with the accreditation in terms of it helps. But,
So let me, maybe,
we have a great,
maybe you don't have the answer. If this was where I live, everybody's going, but if somebody down the street here sells their home
Mhm.
and you go and buy it,
Mhm.
you gotta have flood insurance now, right?
yes, actually, they have to have flood
Until,
insurance.
but when
Unless
they, when they
unless-
certify it, will that go away?
Yes.
Yes.
And what do we have to do to get certified yet? Do you know that answer? Do you have that answer?
Yep, you have to have 12, well, I think it's 6 boring sections done by a hydro engineering firm
Mhm.
to confirm all the soil sampling. And then there are 12 steps that FEMA insists that be done. And all those steps have to be completed and turned into FEMA at the same time. One step is 6 boring engineers by a hydrothermal engineering company. That one step is $60,000. So, and then there's 11 more steps, which have been spelled out to us.
You don't know the grand total.
Of
When it's
the-
all done.
I think well, it depends. Some steps are, paperwork steps. Basically, I think the amount was 334,000.
That's what we have to pay yet.
That was for, all of the engineering costs to have it recertified.
Must be downstate. The A&E's money.
Actually, they're making almost every single
Small communities getting hit. I hear
every single levy in Pennsylvania.
somebody needs, FEMA needs
FEMA needs money.
big money.
Absolutely.
They're hitting it hard.
They spent
Because
too much on Orleans.
yeah, it
What's
was
that?
New
They
Orleans.
spent too much on Orleans.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
We're paying for it.
Yeah,
it was
yep,
New
we got it.
Orleans and
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Yep.
But there's a grant to cover part of that, right?
124,000.
How much?
124,000. Yep.
Hmm.
But
We got 30,
we got 124,000.
yeah, we got put in 33,000.
Where are we coming up with the rest of the money?
That's gonna come out of the CD,
Oh, really?
hopefully.
Hopefully.
That's gonna depend on January.
Well,
Huh.
it was allocated in the budget, but yeah, we were lucky to get 134. Anyway, the dike inspection is done every year. We have the longest levee in Pennsylvania. Did you guys know that? You told us that. That's fun.
Why does it depend on January, Wayne?
Depends on who's in there
Oh.
and where they wanna take it from.
So, but regardless, that's where we stand on that. We had a very good inspection report. If you get, what is it? I wish it was here. Minimally passing, that is 68% of the dike inspections they do. If you get satisfactory, that's like 2%.
So they'll be back every year too.
Oh, yeah.
And how, what, what they charge of,
Oh, no.
No,
okay. And unless they say,
Charge us, let's rub salt into the wound.
yeah,
It's just the cost of us.
I haven't seen any roads down here. Big help.
Oh, no.
they're the ones that send all of these certificates.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, because we get satisfactory, which is the highest you can get.
Oh, really?
Yes. Minimally passing is like good. And the unsatisfactory is, like, there's 2%. Yeah. So satisfactory is like, yay. Yeah. So anyways, so we did well. The new business, if I'm gonna go on, signage complaint on Main Street. We had someone complain via our email. Is there any way we can appeal to the resident with the sign on Main Street with the profanity on it? My objection isn't with the politics, just the swear
No, it's
word.
not mine. I just-
Is this how, what we want to convey to the community? The children will go by it every day on the school bus. I'm afraid that we're setting a precedent. What next? Thank you for your time. So we responded, goodness, I haven't seen this. Where is it? It's on Main Street across from World War II, but it's up a ways. It's a Trump sign tied to the front porch. It says Trump 2020, no more bull blank. As I said before, issues not with politics, just the profanity. Thank you for your quick response. I didn't know.
I've noticed it. I wasn't offended by the word, that's all.
I did not.
I've heard worse.
That's
No,
good.
it's across from Brandy.
Oh, well, they don't pay attention.
I didn't either. I did not know until tonight. But it
So it
said
was brought up at
Shannon.
the police meeting,
Thank you.
and Officer Niswanger knew exactly where it was, because he had seen it, and, to be perfectly honest with you, because we talked about it, there's no state law that prohibits him from doing that. There's no borough, ordinance that prohibits him or her, I can't say, I believe it's him, from doing that. But Eric did say that he would stop in and talk with him. What's that?
I made MBS and Bradford take it off their truck, just saying. Because it was up on MBS and Bradford, when they were still open, they made them take that off their trucks.
It is Pennsylvania.
Well, the sign he had up there before that wasn't offensive. But when he put the second one up, it's got the swear word on there. And
And it says right here.
So Eric was going
I mean, he's got a
to
right to voice his
talk
opinion.
with him. I don't know if he has, and I'll follow up with Eric, and he was gonna say, hey, do you mind, we have a complaint. I understand, you know, you have your right and your opinions, but can you cover it up, do whatever, turn it so people on Main Street can't see it, whatever. So I'll follow up with Eric and see if he stopped in and talked with him, and if he did, what the outcome was. And we can go from there. Kimberly's just showing me, I guess Luann has printed out, it looks like
Pennsylvania law,
Pennsylvania, it's a disorderly conduct law.
and it's an offense of disorderly conduct when a person's guilty of disorderly conduct and intent to cause public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm, recklessly creating a risk thereof when he uses obscene language.
So that was what Eric looked at, and we did talk about it, and that is exactly what it was, because it was under disorderly conduct. His potentially, he said, you could argue that it falls under that, but I can give, his worry is, number one, if we went and tried to do anything, that if it went to the district justice, that it would be thrown out, and a waste of time. And number two is the obscene language. Yeah, it is not defined, which is what Eric was saying too. Is okay. Is the word bull?
No, well, obscene isn't defined. What's obscene?
Right.
That's the problem.
So I'll follow up with Eric. I'll see where he's at. If he talked to him, if he didn't, I'll ask him to, and then we can go from there. and see what happens. I mean, I from my side, I get it. It doesn't affect me, but I get it. You know, kids going to school and things, it's just crazy.
Maybe worse than this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they do, but
How do you say
that's
that?
still. I mean, I get it. They, I'm sure, probably talk worse walking down the hall. But still,
But the problem is defining the word obscene. Although obscene language is defined as misdemeanor disorderly conduct.
But I think that was what we said on the radio, so you should see this change.
Yeah, so that's the problem. Okay, so
And honestly, we could change that to a piece. And everybody should see what he actually means, but it wouldn't be spelled out.
it's true. One quick little.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna get out of here because I don't think any of the rest of this.
No,
pertains to me.
No.
I got quite a drive home too, so.
yes,
Appreciate it.
Be-
All the way back tonight?
be careful.
Yeah, my kid, his grandparents live in Marionville, so I'm gonna pick him up on my way home. So,
Have a safe
yeah,
trip.
all right.
Hopefully
Have a good
this
evening.
road's
Take
open
care.
between
Thank
Key
you,
and
Aaron.
Marionville now.
It's open.
Is
This week they opened it up, I think. So, all right. Have a good evening.
Have a safe
Take
trip.
care.
Thank you.
Work session. So, did you said, Eric,
I'll talk
thank you.
and I will come back with
Okay. Work sessions, would you like to bring that up, Todd?
Sure. It
Oh,
has
pardon.
gotten to the point where our work sessions are just another meeting. And I do not believe we need 2 of them. I would like to scrap the work session.
All right, is that a motion?
That is a motion.
I'll second.
I'll third it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, carried. Okay, so we're gonna do away with work sessions for,
Starting September.
starting
Or-
September.
Right.
Okay, C, fall conference. I would like to go to fall conference. I'm going to be receiving a 10-year recognition. I need a motion to attend the full conference.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. So I'm going to do that. Yep. Yep, Kevin.
Well, It's like we're Santa Claus.
Well, down there at the brush pile, that's closing in pretty quick. Just a thought, something for you guys to think about. Maybe take one day a month and get a chipper and chip up the tree limbs and if public want wood chips to put around the yard. They can go down and
Oh, there you
help themselves. The grass clippings have in a separate area.
You know anybody with a chipper, or do we gotta rent one? Or-
I probably find a chipper.
Otto had one.
You wanna explain to these people why it's closed?
The reason it's closed is one of the guys thought he possibly saw a rattlesnake down there. Trying to find it. Not sure if it is or not, until we
Where's this at?
down at the brush pile.
I'll go that way.
Well, it's just for safe.
I went and looked for
We
it.
don't want anybody
For
to-
it.
So until we can clarify that.
You'll hear it. They'll let you know.
Oh, yeah. I'll let you know it's there.
I talked to
We're gonna be opening it back up.
Matt Wilson. He works with rattlesnakes on a regular basis. Basically, he said rattlesnakes gonna go the other direction, but likelihood of one being there isn't real good, but he's not saying that there isn't, right? So I wanna make sure that way nobody gets bit, there's no problems.
Yeah, I mean, because you think about it, there's trucks, there's trains, I mean,
Right.
there's wood. It could have,
Right.
It's a possibility, but just wanna make sure before we open it back up.
okay. So you want a chipper?
No,
it.
no, I'm just
You just want
giving
to
you
mention
something
it.
to think about is to help contain some of that brush.
I think
and
that's
be
a
able
good
to get
idea.
rid of some of it.
So,
It's great idea.
so we have the
Don't get bit.
equipment to do it and stuff.
Oh, should I rescind the request for the fire department to burn it then?
No,
Yeah,
if
we
they
should-
wanna,
That'd be a good
if
thing.
they wanna burn it, burn it.
I don't think it's gonna burn to the ground anyway, because you get that, sludge
Anything in it
underneath.
won't be there anymore.
hopefully, yeah, I mean, it won't, hopefully won't change it out. So, is that what we wanna do, is burn it first and then have Kevin keep maintenance
Yes.
on it?
That'll burn off the top.
Let's
Yeah.
make a motion to do that,
I'll motion to burn it out.
and then keep
And then
maintenance.
maintain the second.
Okay, and then a second by Todd, all in favor? Aye, carried, all right, good deal.
Are you done now?
Yeah, let's
I
make.
thought he was gonna buy a wood chip.
He hasn't
I
asked for enough
thought
money
he
yet.
was too, that's what I thought he was asking about, yeah, that's what I thought he wanted. Okay,
Going through the truck.
I know, who knows? Long range planning, multimodal funding, there, should have been, was there a bill for an engineer in there?
Yes, in the-
Okay, just so you know, the multimodal
Cost of
funding,
trouble.
the engineer, bill came up first for the multimodal funding, but that gets put back into our budget. It usually happens with grants. You have to pay the engineer first, but you write it in and then it goes back into the budget. So that may be something that, you know, you saw and you were like, what? That's what that is. And I just want to let you know that Luann got a call and we look pretty good for that. So from Sherry Gary, that's a big grant. Yes.
Mechanic to King.
Yeah. No, it's Main Street.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
mechanic to change.
So that's good news. Who knows? Yep, it's very big. Compactor onwards, ordinance enforcement. The secretary should turn in a report at the end of your
Read through it.
rep. So great. I love having that. River Trail
Northport.
okay, flood mitigation grant. Stifler, she sent an email from Stifler, so you guys got that. Regional police, Shannon, you kind of told us.
Talked about the sign. The police now have internet in their car and computers that they can now, not that you want to hear this if you get pulled over, but can ticket you. It goes straight to the
Yay.
district justice. They can actually see statewide if you've got pulled over in Harrisburg by the state police. So it's all connected. The 2 jetpacks that are in the car are government issued through Verizon. Have they override any civilian devices? So basically, they trump any of your cell phones or anything. And from what I understand, the cell service actually on the internet is pretty good because it can be spotty, but they said it's actually pretty good. We also got a cell phone through Verizon and are getting rid of the landline, and they will now use the phone that, and it hasn't completely turned over because we want to make sure that the new cell phone number gets out. But when you call, it will be that cell phone. So if there's an officer on duty and they're out and about, they will have that cell phone. If you
Awesome.
call, they will answer.
That is
If
nice.
they don't answer, you can leave a message. And of course, the message will say if it's an emergency, call 911.
Right.
But it will allow them to have the phone when they're on duty,
Awesome.
and hopefully make that a little more mobile and easier to get a hold of them when they're actually here. Because when they're here and they're out and about, you know, if you call the office, you're literally leaving a message.
Right. Okay.
So that's where we're at with. Oh, and one more thing, we're going to go to an internet fax service, which is going to save us $35 a month on another phone line that we're going to be getting rid of. So we're really trying to watch costs, trying to do what we can to keep them going. The last thing was we approved the hiring of a new officer. He just graduated from school, a local guy. I think he's from Derrick City. I think is what he said. Young kid. No, that guy's already working. No.
Okay.
So that's it. And I apologize, I don't have the numbers because I forgot to grab the papers with the traffic stops and such.
Okay, so moving on, Water Authority, I usually ask Jack, he's not here, then it's back to the mayor's report. Okay. Anybody have any questions, comments from the peanut gallery? No?
Motion adjourned.
Hey, you're skipping, right?
Next meeting.
Wait a minute. The next meeting is
I'll second.
it's September 3rd or
Aye.
17th. Okay, all in favor? Okay.
Per second on the adjournment.
Yeah,
I did it.
Todd's jumping the gun and Mark's getting us out. Yeah, Mark and Todd.
Don't
We're
matter.
gonna go to
We're
the
outta
Mark
here.
and Todd
We got-
show.
I got students again tomorrow. I gotta get the hell out of here.
Are you serious? Are you back in school?
Oh.
Oh, you
I've been there 2 days. Kids are there
Oh,
tomorrow.
wow. Good for, I mean, sorry. Can I send you can I
180.
send you a sympathy card?
183 more days.
You're already counting down. You know,
Actually, I'm counting the 12 years